Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Ibrahim, based in Indian University, Master of Human Anatomy, National University. In this session, we are going to talk about the new anatomy. We will talk about the brain structures, lobes, main features and main sulci and gyri. We will talk also briefly about the meninges covering of the brain. Also, we will talk briefly about the spinal cord. Okay, let's start to talk about the brain and the covering of the brain. The brain is located inside the skull, and covered by the calvaria of the skull. The parts of the brain located corresponding to the anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa, and posterior cranial fossa. In the anterior cranial fossa, we will find the frontal lobe. Temporal lobe is located mainly in the middle cranial fossa. The occipital and the cerebellum is confined to the posterior cranial fossa. This is the superior view of the brain, and this is the lateral view of the brain. Actually, the brain contains three poles. We have, this is frontal part, this is occipital part. Here in this area, we have the frontal pole. This is the temporal area, we have temporal pole, and posteriorly we have the occipital pole. Again, we have three poles, anterior or frontal, occipital, and temporal pole. The lobes of the brain is gain its name corresponding to the bony part in the skull. We have a lot of fissures or sulci in the brain, and we have a lot of projected area in the brain called the gyri. The symbol is called gyri. This one is called the temporal lobe. This one is called the parietal lobe, and this one is called the occipital lobe. Again, this is a temporal lobe, this is a frontal lobe, this is a parietal lobe, and this is the occipital lobe. The brain contains two cerebral hemispheres. This is the right one, and this is the left cerebral hemisphere. The two cerebral hemispheres connected to each other by fibers, projection fibers called corpus callosum. So the two cerebral hemispheres connected to each other by the corpus callosum. Again, the superior aspect is the frontal part, anterior part, frontal lobes, two frontal lobes, right and left. This is the posterior aspect or occipital lobes, right and left. Inferior to the brain, posteriorly we will find this very important structure, which is the cerebellum. This is the cerebellum. Actually, the brain is divided into many areas. The area which contains the basal ganglia and the cerebral hemispheres is called telencephalon. And we have the area which contains the thalamus, subthalamus, epithalamus, which called diencephalon, and we have other area which contain the midbrain called metencephalon, which contain the midbrain. Also, we can divide the brain into three parts. The forebrain, which contain the cerebral hemispheres, the midbrain, which contains the midbrains, the hindbrain, which contains posteriorly the cerebellum, and anteriorly pons and the medulla oblongata, which is not located here in this cadaveric specimen. This is a pons, but actually the medulla oblongata is removed. Again, the brain is divided into forebrain, midbrain, which contains the midbrain located here, hindbrain contains the pons, medulla oblongata inferiorly, and the cerebellum posteriorly. posteriorly. Okay, let's talk about the covering of the brain, about the meninges. The meninges are three in number. We have the outer one, from the outer to the inner. This one is called the dura mater. This layer is called the arachnoid matter, and the meninges that attach to the brain itself is called the pia mater. So from the outer to inner, we have the dura mater, we have the arachnoid matter, and we have the pia mater, which attach to the brain itself. The dura mater, the outer one, it has two layers. One of them is called the brachial layer, which attach or connected to skull. The other one is called the meningeal layer, which cover the brain. The dura mater is a very tough layer. It has many faults or reflection. For example, we have the dural fold, which separates between the two cerebral hemispheres, which called is falx cerebri. This is a falx cerebri. Is a reflection of dura mater. This is a falx cerebri.